We were able to get some funding initially for the program. When I started the program, was with a VOCA grant. When that ran out, we looked for other local sources of funding, a state family violence prevention grant, which enabled us, in addition to help with services, also provide training. And at conferences, we were able to put on 5 different conferences over the last year, training professionals in various disciplines on abuse in later life, as well as other areas of elder abuse. I found it really important when you're trying to get other professionals to get training on domestic violence in later life, you need to bring in some other areas. And it's also good for domestic violence advocates to have training in other areas of elder abuse. So our conferences were generally multidisciplinary. We would have a whole set of different topics relating to all aspects of elder abuse.
Some of the biggest challenges right now I think that exists for everybody is really resources and making the time to kind of build these relationships. Collaboration is not something that happens overnight. It's also that as we begin to develop these relationships with them, we have to nurture those relationships that we may have with leaders in these communities. And also that I think the biggest challenge is really putting the time and the commitment to make that happen. And I think the thing is that a lot of these community groups, if they see the commitment on our part and that we're willing to be responsive to that, they're more apt to be willing to work with us. Again, it's a fluid process. It's not something that's just finite that happens like you could say, oh, I'm putting 6 months into this. If I don't see any results, or once I have a relationship with them, we're done. We're set. Then we're able to get going, and that's all we need to do. I don't think that's necessarily true. Again, a lot of our work is about building partnerships, and it's also about how we sustain those partnerships. And so in terms of overcoming challenges or barriers to that, I think that partly we have to look internally in ourselves in terms of, what's holding us back, what's stopping us in terms of putting the time in to have those relationships and building those relationships with the community.
We did have some luck with our traditional domestic violence programs. We started by working with the coalition, letting them know that we're here and who we are. I remember when I first started my career, I actually served as a board member on the for the coalition. I think that was a great start, because it gave me the opportunity to network with a lot of other domestic violence providers in one arena. So I wasn't very stretched. And that was a great start. But then as the program grew and as domestic violence program services grew, it became important for us to be in all those arenas. So I think that was crucial. Being involved in whatever forums we can. For example, there's the Maricopa Association of Governments, the Regional Domestic Violence Council. We make sure we're part of that. The Governor's Commission Against Violence Against Women and Children, we're a part of that forum. We have a DV Collaborators Committee that meets every month. We are also a part of that forum. So it's just working. It's a matter of working with the domestic violence community, introducing them to who we are and what we do, that we are now, in many of the programs, we are on a first name basis. I can call a staff member, they can call me, and we know each other. I think that's been the success.
None of us can do it alone. Whether it's working with the clergy, working with the Domestic Violence Agency, working with the Elder Service Agency, to really have partners, to collaborate, to be able to let each other know what you're doing. And so to try to pull together, if you're all in the same mindset of, how do we reach these isolated women that need services and need some help, being able to work together.
If you are a domestic violence, especially a traditional domestic violence program, then I would partner with the local area agency on aging to become more knowledgeable about the needs of older adults, and also to see what kinds of aging services you might link up with and be able to get for your clients. If you are an area agency on aging or an aging services provider, as we are, what we found was most valuable was to partner with the local domestic violence shelters. And many of our clients get referred through the shelter. I think aging organizations need to become very knowledgeable about the dynamics of domestic violence, and to then partner with those domestic violence shelters to make sure that together they're serving the clients the best way they can.